Aaron, I got to tell you, we're going to go ahead and stipulate to Jim Comey's probity. Nobody's going to question his honor and his character. I read this, and I literally wanted to rinse myself off afterwards. I felt completely disgusted, beginning with that first awkward handshake that we saw on camera when Director Comey and the president met, and it started as a handshake, turned into kind of a half hug. You could tell, it was palpable how uncomfortable Director Comey was. I went through this line by line, and as you spoke to, the only problems I had with Director Comey's actions, I've spoken on CNN Air many times about people on both sides of the issue can come down and say, hey, we disagreed with how he handled it, or we supported it. My only issue was, why didn't he go to his superiors? And I think this document, this statement for record, explains why. He knew that Attorney General Sessions had to recuse himself. He knew that the folks that were at the head of the Department of Justice at the time were only going to be there for a short period of time. And he was concerned about influencing the Russian collusion investigation. He didn't want his agents, he didn't want the prosecutors to be...
He said he didn't want them to be afraid to go ahead with it.
Absolutely.
So he said nothing, right? And he does explain that in here.
Yes.
And you buy that?
I do. I do buy that only because as you look through this document, this statement for the record, and as David pointed out, this is uncommon for this to be released before he testifies tomorrow. This is a testimonial document. In 25 years in the FBI, I was explicitly forbidden from putting my opinion into a testimonial document. This is rife with opinion.
Oh, it is. He says, my instinct, I felt compelled. Yeah.
There's another point here.
Yes.
Is that he did go to his superior at one point. He goes to Attorney General Sessions and says, don't let me alone in the room. Right. And remember, the February 14th meeting, the weirdness of that is that he excuses Vice President Pence, Attorney General Sessions from the room. Talk about consciousness of guilt. So why couldn't he talk in front of him? Because he knew what he was doing was inappropriate.
I want to read the quote because I think the word, and Comey, I mean, reading this, he's not a guy who uses, you know, insane verbs, okay? Except for in this case. So let me read it. Shortly afterwards, I spoke with Attorney General Sessions in person to pass along the president's concern about leaks. I took the opportunity to implore the Attorney General to prevent future direct communication between the president and me. Implore is the word that he used. And by the way, he then goes ahead and lays out a couple more phone calls that were just between him and the president. So the president obviously did not heed that advice if he received it from the Attorney General.
Well, and this, you know, this also portrays someone in James Comey who felt like he couldn't go to anybody. He said, as he wrote in his testimony, he didn't want to, quote, infect the investigation, so he had to wall off the people who were doing the investigating. He goes to his superiors. He goes to Sessions. He goes to Bente, right? And he said, and then he doesn't get an answer about what to do. So it portrays this picture of James Comey as sort of trying to figure out what the right thing to do is here. And there seems to be very few people he can confide in except his leadership team, with whom he entrusted, you know, his notes and his memories of these meetings.
Yeah, I think it's very important that he did share it with his leadership team, as Gloria was just pointing out, because that again is contemporaneous. Telling to other people about what's happening. So this is made up after the fact, after he was fired. He told people then. But I'd love to hear, can you expand on your sentence about you had to rinse off after
I know, I had that. I was going to come back to that. So what, because I said, was it Jim Comey that made you want to rinse off, or the President of the United States?
No, it was just the vision of a small table in the green room with the President and the FBI director seated there having a quiet lunch in a cavernous room with two Navy stewards waiting on them, and Director Comey feeling uncomfortable, awkward, knowing that they shouldn't be having that one-on-one.
This is the loyalty pledge. When the President asked for the loyalty pledge.
And Aaron, do this for 48 years. And David, you could certainly speak this. 48 years, FBI Director Hoover pulled puppet strings and had presidents on their heels. We now have a president that was attempting to put an FBI director on his heels.